Hi, and today on The Beauty of Beats, we're going to be making a hip-hop song in under 20 minutes using GarageBand, which is a free application on either your iPhone, iPad, or iMac. Let's get into it. So I open the application, and this is my menu right here. So we're going to start from brand new. We always start from scratch here on The Beauty of Beats. So let's open a brand new song. All right. Now what I'm going to do is add a sound. And what that's called is a loop. So I'm going to hit this little plus sign, and I'm going to hit loops. Now what this does is allow me to choose from all of the pre-recorded and sampled sounds that Apple has provided for us for free. Okay? So what I'm going to do, since I'm going to do a hip-hop song, what I like to do is really feel out the mood that I'm in. I want to, what's hip-hop, what's really making me feel. So I'm going to hit that X, and I'm going to hit instruments. Because I always like to start with the lead. Something that's really going to catch people's attention, that's going to differentiate yourself from other songs. And then we're going to add the beat later. But right now we're going to start with just the lead. So I think today I'm actually feeling some synths. So I'm going to hit synths. And these are all the synths that are available. All right, so I'm just going to scroll down. The reason I scroll down is that way I get to use different ones all the time. And let's just see what Daybreak sounds like. All right, I'll be honest, I like that right away. All right, I know it's a little fast, but we're going to change that in just 1 second. So what I'm going to do is click and hold the Daybreak Beach synth, click and hold it, and drag it over to the box all the way on the left. If I hit the arrow on the bottom, it's going to play that beat, that loop over and over. Now, like I said, it's a little too fast, so what I'm going to do is hit this gear in the upper right and tempo. Okay, you're not really going to need to change anything else, but I'm going to hit tempo, and I'm going to slow this down. And most hip-hop songs are in the 90s. All right, see, that has much more of a hip-hop feel to it. Oh, yeah, come on. So what I'm going to do is hit this add sign. And what I'm going to do is add a drum beat. So I'm going to hit this X. I'm going to click on instruments. I'm going to click on all drums. Now next to where you see it says all drums, hit genres. Hit genres, and you can scroll down, hit hip hop. So these are specifically hip hop beats. Okay? So I'm going to scroll down again. That way I don't really use things multiple times. That's the only reason I'm scrolling down. So let's just feel out Dirty Beat. Sounds good to me. I do kind of like that, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for right now. So let's just go down the middle beat. Let's go right down. Okay. I like that. Very simple. Let's try a couple others just to see, just to compare. Nope. Oh, see, and that's why you keep going. You want to give yourself the options. I like this. Now I'm going to click and hold it, drag it over, and I'm going to hit the arrow on the bottom, and that's going to start both of them at once. Now if I slide this over right here, I can actually change the volume. So I'm going to... Alright, now you hear how that synth is pretty synthy, right? It's almost EDM, dubstep. So I'm actually going to click on that, and I'm going to hit this little, next to the FX, I'm going to hit the little options, and that's going to allow me to change kind of the sound that it's making. So instead of synths, I'm going to click on it, I'm gonna scroll down. Let's try telephone. Okay, I like that. Telephone is a great default for any beat that you kind of want to change the sound. It's a great default. So I'm gonna get out of the options. We got a nice start. So now what I'm gonna do is hit this add sign, and instead of loops, I'm gonna do instruments, which means I physically actually play the instrument. So I'm not gonna do keyboard, not drums. There's a whole bunch of options, but I'm actually gonna click on bass. So I'm gonna click on bass, and instead of chords, I'm gonna click on notes. Now this takes a little bit of time to figure out what the notes are. So just bear with me and let's do it together. See, that's all I'm doing is playing that. And a little trick is usually it's going to be this note, not the first string, but the second string in that first circle, which is called the 3rd fret. All right, so that's what I like right here. So that's all I want. So listen, and when you're feeling it, you're gonna hit that record button. And it automatically records it, and it's just playing it. So what I'm gonna do is hit that. Now I'm gonna go back to this screen. Now I'm gonna stop everything because I'm gonna hit the little edit button, which is in the bottom left. And I'm gonna click on that bass line we just made, and I'm gonna click on edit. And the reason I'm gonna do this is because even though I played it, it sounds pretty good. It's not perfect. So what I'm gonna do is quantize that, which means I line it up perfectly. So I'm actually gonna select what I just made. I'm gonna hit settings, quantization. All right, and then I'm gonna hit 1/8 note. And what that does is it lines it up to 1/8 note. So let's, come on. See, now it's right on because I quantize it. It's something that a lot of people need to do when you're writing your own music. That way it's perfectly on beat. Sometimes it is great just to play what you're playing and have it a little bit off, but for the most part, you're gonna wanna quantize it and put it right with the beat, right on line, right in pace. Now, I like this bass line, so what I'm gonna do is click on the bass. Now I'm gonna hit that edit button next to the FX. Instead of Liverpool, I usually go muted. This is more, you can hear that difference. So there's different types of basses that you can use. Just for example, if I want to hit the edit button instead of muted, I want to do retro bass. You can hear it's got that little 80s kind of bass sound to it. That's not what we're going for, but that is an option that you do have. So I'm gonna hit that retro bass, put it back to muted. That's what I like, it's what I found that I like, it's what it works. All right. Now what I want is more hi-hat. And hi-hat's at, all right, so that's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna hit add. And instead of instruments, I'm gonna go back to loops. So these are pre-made things, pre-recorded. Now I'm gonna hit, all drums is already on there, but I'm gonna search Apple loops. This is great help. So instead, I'm gonna hit topper. And that usually includes hi-hats, cymbals, it includes everything but the kick. You know, the kick drum. So we'll hear these. Not even close to what I want. It's a lot of figuring out. And remember, this is coming from you. This is the exact. I do kind of like this. All right. Let's try a couple, just others. Bit by bit. I like this. Pretty chill. It's kind of what I'm feeling right now. So I'm going to click and hold it and drag it over here. I'm going to click the arrow and let's listen to them all together. I'm going to drag up the volume. I can't hear that. And I'm going to put in my other. That way I can hear it a little bit better. I like this a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy this track. And the reason is because that's a lot to be rapping or singing over, is that sound that we originally started with. That's why I'm going to change this. All right? Only for the verse. I think this will be great for the chorus or the hook. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. So I'm going to click on it, duplicate it. And I'm going to stop everything. I'm going to hit the edit button down in the bottom left, click it, copy it, click down there, and paste. Now this is going to get a little bit complicated, but I think it's great. So what we have here, and what I'm going to do is hit the no sound, so that way this one's muted. All right. And I'm going to delete that because it didn't copy the whole thing. There we go. Now, if you listen. And the reason that I'm copying and pasting it, because I don't want that whole part. Because it's too much, but I do want part of it. So that way it keeps the continuity of the song. So what I'm going to do is stop this. Okay, I'm going to unmute this and we're going to listen to it. And I'm going to hit this edit button. Edit. So this is what's actually been played out. Now I do not want this whole part. So I think listening to it, I only want the first part. And you'll see what I'm saying. So I'm going to hit split. And what I'm doing is splitting that loop. So I'm able to actually sectionalize it. Okay? I'm going to hit split. And what I'm going to do is delete the second part. And you'll see what that does. So it's not going to play that whole loop that we've been playing. Okay? Hit undo. And we're going to mute the first one. So you're going to listen. See? You see how that's more of a verse that somebody can be singing over or rapping over, or the combination? That's the whole point. So this way you're kind of getting the feel of the song, but you're not getting the full chorus or the hook, if you will. So I like that. Now what I do want is kind of a splash. So at the beginning, this kind of right there. That's where I want it because I want people to know. So I'm going to hit add. I'm going to hit loops. I'm going to X out everything so that way we're back to blank. Now I'm gonna hit genres. Before I select anything, I'm gonna go down and do sound effects, okay? Now what this is if you listen to a lot of EDM or even hip hop, you'll hear whoosh and slams, and that's where they come up with this. So a riser brings you up to a climax, and an impact is what hits at the end of the climax. So I'm gonna hit impact just to show you. You hear that? I'll let it play again. And I'm gonna turn up the volume, that way you can hear it. You hear that? So I'm gonna actually bring that out. Okay? And I'm gonna stop by hitting on the right one. Okay? So the one right to the right, that stops everything. Okay? And I'm just gonna play you the impact that we just did. That's it. It's a sound effect. Okay? But what it does is it gives you that feeling when there's the downbeat. Okay? And that really is what they call the drop. So listen. See? It gives it a little bit of something. A little bit of knowing. That's what we want. Oh, see? I'm feeling that. See, now you could rap over that. You can sing over it. You can change what's going on. And that's what we're going to kind of figure out right now, is exactly what goes extremely well with what else. I like that little drop. So I'm actually going to take out that topper and let's see what it sounds like. Ooh, okay. Feeling it though, feeling it. So I'm ready to basically draw out our beat using these loops. And you do it all with just hitting the beats when you want them to actually play. And you'll figure this out throughout the loops. So what I'm gonna do is hit the record. I think what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna undo this one, so that way we have the whole beat. So I think what I'm gonna do is start with this. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think that's what I want to start with. I always like to bring people in, not give them everything at once. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna click the record, and we're actually gonna write out our beat using these loops right now. So I'm gonna hit the record button, and we're gonna start with those two. Yes. Now I'm gonna hit all of it. See? And this is the hook right here. This is when you'd be singing the chorus, or, you know, the hook, the thing that really people remember. Now what I'm gonna do is get rid of these. Now, I did mess up right there, but it's okay. So I'm gonna unmute the one we did. But I actually really kind of like how that works. That's the beauty of beats, is sometimes it works out better than you even thought. Now what I'm thinking for the last one is I think I'm gonna take out the drums. So I'm just gonna click on the drums and stop them both. And now we're ready for the chorus. Oh, and there it is, baby. Woo! Come on, you feeling that? And that's how you get right back into that second verse. And now I'm going to stop it because I'm feeling great about that. Now, once you add vocals and a hook, that's when you really can get diving into really kind of manufacturing the beat with the very specifics and getting into the details. But you do need some vocals if you want to make it a full-length song. But the beat itself would be great behind any video, just as background music, as something just to chill and drive to. It'd be wonderful for that. But from here, I'm loving the way that this beat sounds. It's reflecting exactly the type of hip-hop song that I wanted to hear at this moment in time.